Welcome back to another Save It for Parts mailbag slash unboxing slash behind the scenes video. I've been doing this little series where I show off some of the weird stuff that people send me, and I don't really encourage people to send me their weird stuff because I have plenty of my own, but I also have a very hard time turning down free weird stuff. So here's some of the stuff in the mailbag this month, or maybe this is several months. I get a little confused about how often I film these and how much stuff I have on the incoming to-do pile, but here's some stuff from summer 2025 that I'll be working on in future videos. So Marcus from the Canadian Centre for Experimental Radio Astronomy sent me this giant tote through the mail, and we're going to see what's in here. This is quite an interesting shipping job. All right, so we have quite the device in here. So I'm pretty sure this is the base of my future radio telescope. This is the rotating azimuth control system, and it's got all kinds of interesting stuff in here. A little more unpacking needed. Maybe I should just open everything up and then show you guys what we got. All right, so I think this is everything, and I'm not 100% sure how this goes together, but this should be the basis of a satellite dish positioner or a rotor unit. So this is for, theoretically for a pretty big satellite dish. So we've got this gearbox. We've got, looks like input and output shafts. I'll have to ask Marcus for some instructions. We've got, looks like some mounting brackets. Again, not quite sure where those go. We have a linear actuator. So that might be for the elevation drive. We have a couple of these little motors. So I don't know if I'm supposed to use both of these motors or just one of these to drive the thing. And then we've got a bunch of bearings. I'm somewhat familiar with bearings like this. I think this is just a Penguin bearing. I've used these on my trains. Yeah, I am definitely going to have to contact Marcus and ask him, what do I do with all this? Because I'm not sure how it's intended to go together, but it definitely looks like it should help me drive a satellite dish around. So that's going to be a really cool project. So this is something fun from my own merch store. Now, normally I like to wear other YouTubers' clothes because they have cooler designs than me, but every now and then I'll order some of my own stuff from my own merch store. And that's kind of the reason why I have a merch store, is just to get the designs out there. I'm really not making any money for it. I've got everything priced so I make a profit of like $1 to maybe $5. Fluff is going to help me sell this product here. So I have the Save It for Parts logo on a hoodie, and a smaller logo on the front here. Yeah, I'd say the quality of the printing looks pretty good. That's something I've had trouble with prior merch stores that I've used, is the designs come off in the wash or they just fade after a while. So we'll have to see how this does after long term, but so far it's looking pretty nice. And then I went ahead and got a kind of navy blue. Just wanted to see, how does the logo look? Because I have blue in the logo, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Blue on blue is not bad. I got an XL for myself, and honestly, this is maybe a little big. I maybe should have just gone with an L, but yeah, it fits pretty decently. I like the combination of the zipper and the hoodie, and then pockets are always nice. Anyway, if you want to buy these for yourself, I'll put a link to the merch store down below. I'm going to stop talking about my own products now and move on to something more interesting. All right, we've got a mystery package. I do not remember ordering this, and it showed up on my home address, which I don't really use for deliveries because the porch is pretty exposed and stuff walks off, and I didn't even know this was out on the porch until I ordered DoorDash, and I noticed here's a box. I don't know how long it's been sitting there. There's no return address on it. All right, there is a spatula. Ooh, mystery jar. I do recognize the handwriting. That is my sister, so yeah. We got some grape jelly, apparently. All right, so down in the basement, we have a big mess, yes, but also some neat stuff from a viewer. So thank you, Brad, for the test and monitoring equipment here. So got some oscilloscopes. One of these, I think, has bad capacitors, so we'll have to repair it. But yeah, some interesting stuff here that I have not had time to play with. I literally just brought this home. And a few people have offered me oscilloscopes, a few local folks have offered to give me test equipment, and I always appreciate it, but I never quite get around to finding the time to pick those up or finding the space for it, because, yeah, they're kind of cluttering up the basement, but that's fine. Brad was actually able to meet me at Axeman Surplus, so I guess that's the secret to giving me oscilloscopes, is meet me at Axeman. Yeah, I'm always a little leery of more stuff, because my server closet looks like this. It has absolutely full of junk. And I still have this giant pile with half of this stuff was stuff that people gave me, and I feel bad because I have not gotten around to playing with it yet. So if you sent me some of this stuff, I'm sorry, I'm still working on it. Other stuff is from Axeman. I think I maybe showed some of this in a prior video. I don't know if I showed this one. This is a new Axeman find, but anyway, we'll get to that stuff someday, I swear. Sometimes I wonder if I should slow down on accepting incoming treasure so that my rate of videos catches up with the rate of incoming stuff, because it's, I'm gonna have to start doing more videos more quickly, I think. Case in point, I just brought home this box as well. This was from an estate auction, and I bid on this, maybe more than I should, but I think I got a good deal on it. There are a bunch of vintage Apple accessories in here. So we've got all of these docking stations, mice, keyboards. These keyboards look like mice of the fuzzy pooping variety have been romping all across them, so that's why they're out in the garage right now. I need to give everything a good cleaning. We've got this really cool floppy drive with this little fold-down lid stand situation. Speaking of fuzzy mice, I can hear one over in the corner of the garage chewing on a bag of bird food. Oh, now there he went. I don't know if we caught it on video, but yeah, he was up in this bag, I think. Yeah, there's a hole in it too. I keep the empty bird food bags around for saving it for parts and hoarding, and they work kind of as sandbags, but they always have a little bit of food dust in the bottom, so the mice get in there. Where was I? Oh yeah, this box of vintage Apple stuff that came from someone else's mouse-filled garage to my mouse-filled garage. We've even got some still wrapped accessories like this microphone. We've got batteries, we've got battery chargers. Okay, now the real reason I bought this lot is this guy. So this was listed as a docking station. But if you look closely, you might notice the laptop is still docked in there. This is a Apple Powerbook Duo. This was Apple's attempt in the 1990s to make a netbook, or basically a useless laptop with no ports on it. And if you wanted it to do anything, you had to buy all of these extra accessories to get any ports connected to the thing. And I think it's stuck in the dock, so I think that's why they sold it as a dock, because somebody didn't realize there was a laptop in there. I think we can get this out, but we need power to get it out. I don't actually know how this works. I've never actually owned a Duo. I'm not going to get into much detail on the Powerbook in this video, but I do want to see which Powerbook it is, because there were a number of Duo models. And to do that, I think we need to plug in the dock. I don't know if we need to power on the dock or if we can just hit this eject button. Okay, yeah. Getting no response from this. It's possible someone already let the magic smoke out and that it's not going to work without some surgery. Okay, scary noises are happening. I'm actually going to unplug that. That sounds like something is happening that we don't want to happen. So it looks like there might be an emergency eject on the side, the way you'd get with an old floppy drive. And it looks like we can use the key for that. Ah, there we go. All right, there is our mystery Powerbook. This is definitely one of them. I don't know if it's the 210, the 230. I don't think it's a color version, but it is a 230. Okay, and this belonged to 3M. It looks like it's in pretty good condition. This might have never left the dock. Yeah, this is kind of cool. So hopefully it works. Like I said, I'm not going to fire it up in this video. That'll be another video where we play around with it, but looking pretty nice, even if the rest of it's filled with rodents. And this thing even has this giant lid on the front. So yeah, you basically just insert your entire laptop into here to have a real computer with things like disk drives and video output and whatnot. The Duo itself has no interface other than we have a printer part, we have a phone jack, and then we have the docking connector. So these were something when I was in high school, if you were really fancy, you could go check out a laptop from the high school library, and they didn't, I think they did have a Duo. They might have had a 210, but mostly they had like, I'm dating myself here, I don't remember. They had the early Powerbooks, and I always wanted one of the really nice ones with the cool 90s form factor, the active matrix color screen. This doesn't have the color screen, unfortunately. This is just going to be black and white. But did I show this thing in the incoming junk video yet? This isn't something that somebody sent me. This is another auction purchase, another type of WineGuard satellite antenna, and we'll get to that at some point here. Yes, it looks like a barbecue, but it's actually a satellite antenna, and it's kind of an interesting one, and I already have some ideas for it, even before opening it up to see what's inside. I also can't remember if I showed this one in a prior video. This is yet another WineGuard Traveler. This one was on Facebook Marketplace for $50. It's got the motorized 3-axis azimuth elevation skew motor system. It's got a smaller reflector than my other Traveler, but I think it's going to be useful. I could put a different dish on here, and I've got one set up on the roof for S-band. I could use one outside for L-band, so maybe this will be my new permanent L-band tracking dish. This one does have the new and improved indoor unit that actually uses an Ethernet and USB interface, and I don't see the same serial interface as the last one I had, although it does have I think it has an SD card in here. Anyway, we'll get into this again at some point and we'll play around with it. Hopefully I can hack into this the same way I've hacked into the other WineGuard products. I got this giant screw thing at the same estate auction as that little WineGuard barbecue. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but nobody had bid on it. And I showed up and they said, yeah, just make us an offer on this. And I said, nobody bid on that? That's a crime. I don't know what it is, but that's cool. So I took it home. Yeah, I have a problem. The wasps are back over here. I have the shop vac set up to try to suction them out of the wall, but I don't know if that's actually working. I came over here to show off some other stuff. This JT out at Sandland found. It was in not completed condition, but it's, yeah, cool little skull. I added a hinge on the back, so now he's like a candy bowl or something. Yeah, so he'll go back to the sandbar. And some of this stuff is for another project that you'll see in another video, or maybe you've already seen it, depending on what's come out when. Got a couple packages that just showed up at the P.O. box. I don't actually know what this one is. This might be something I ordered on eBay. This might actually be the power supply for that Powerbook Duo. Yeah, it looks like that's what that is. So yeah, now we can get the Powerbook Duo working because the Duo dock made suspicious noises and wouldn't turn on. This is a little bit gooey. The rubber on these old Apple products always decays into a sticky mess, but I think the actual power supply should work. So we'll get to that in another video. This one is from Jeff Geerling down in St. Louis. If people aren't familiar with Jeff's channel, he has some great YouTube content about Raspberry Pi computers, home server labs, radio stuff, all kinds of interesting stuff. We met him at OpenSauce last year, and I'm really sad that we can't make it to OpenSauce this year. You'll find out why in a couple weeks when I start putting out videos about our big project, but unfortunately we scheduled something else back before they announced the dates for OpenSauce, so we will not see Jeff there. But he's sent me something, and it's a really heavy something, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this is. Looks like this is some kind of miniature computer. And he's got a letter here. So Jeff watched one of my recent videos where I mentioned that my editing PC is kind of a mishmash of old parts and flaky RAM. And he sent me a new computer. So thank you, Jeff. I wasn't trying to solicit free computers when I mentioned that as an aside in a recent video, but a couple people have offered me computer parts, and I didn't take anyone up on it, but Jeff actually just went ahead and sent me new computer parts, or a whole new computer. This definitely looks newer and fancier than most of the computer equipment I've used. I mean, I've never even heard of Oculink, so I'm gonna have to look up what that is. And we got some other goodies down in here. We have a hard drive and some Jeff Geerling stickers. So those are cool. They can go right on the computer case here or on some of my other equipment. Yeah, these are great. I'll throw a link to Jeff's channel up here and down in the description, and everyone should go check him out because if you're into Raspberry Pis, he's kind of a must-watch channel for tips and tricks on those, on home labs, small servers, all kinds of interesting stuff. This thing will probably be showing up in some future videos, either a setup as I learn how to use it, or you might just see the products of it as I learn to edit with the thing. He did say he has Windows 11 on it. I'll have to decide if I want to keep that on there or go with Linux. I've been editing on Linux. I use Shotcut, which is cross-platform. It's a free open source editing program. It looks just like Adobe Premiere or pretty much any other non-linear video editing software. So I really like Shotcut, and it should work on this thing just fine. So we'll be playing around with that very soon. All right, I think we're going to wrap this video up. I am going to try to work on some of these things that you just saw in this video. I do need to catch up on some of the stuff that people have sent me. I need to catch up on a lot of my projects. I'm very behind, as you've probably been able to tell. And this summer, this whole year of 2025 has really been just rushing by at an insane speed. And I don't know where most of the year has gone. We haven't gotten to half of the projects that I want to do. We still have some massive projects coming up. We have some big things that are going to tie me up for weeks at a time where I might not even be able to check my emails or social media. So big things in the works. Hopefully some interesting videos coming out in the future, both from some of those big projects and from some of the stuff you saw here. Things like the geodesic dome, the big satellite dish out there. That's a big project that is going to hopefully make some progress this year before it gets cold and starts snowing out there at Sandland. Likewise, some of the test equipment is going to be really fun to set up. I would still like to set up more of a traditional ham shack somewhere, some more of a real electronics workspace rather than just my office here or the cluttered up basement or the garage, but that might be a project for the winter. We'll see what happens. Thank you again to my Patreon supporters who really help support this channel and help keep me motivated to continue coming out with content, continue making interesting videos for you guys. Finally, thank you to everyone out there for watching, and we'll see you next time.